Hello, nerds. Thank you for watching your weekend Nerdom right here on Generally Nerdy. The review for Joker will be up probably tomorrow, I want to say, though potentially on Sunday. So if it doesn't go up until Sunday, I apologize, but it will be up long before Monday, so there's that. This is the Weekend Nerdom, as I said. Normally, we cover everything in movies, TV, comics, gaming, music, and everything in between. This is an abbreviated episode, but let's hit the intro and then I'll explain all of that. Alright, let's jump right into television news. This is actually our biggest section for the episode. So, first up, we have we have a quasi-confirmation that Joel Edgerton is going to be coming back into the Obi-Wan fold, or the Star Wars fold, I guess, for Obi-Wan. Joel Edgerton, who played Uncle Owen, aka Owen Lars, is going to be coming back. It's not 100% confirmed. This comes from Josh Horowitz from MTV, who talked with Edgerton recently, and he said that the way Edgerton was dancing around the Star Wars topic is a pretty strong indication that we will be seeing Uncle Owen in the new Obi-Wan series. So that's pretty cool. I can dig that. Any ties to the Holy Trilogy is always a plus, right? Next, we're talking Batwoman, and this one, because the first episode airs this weekend, so we can't really talk about the series just yet, and I don't know if I necessarily plan on talking about the series on Generally Nerdy, but we will at least be talking about if they do crazy things, but like introducing characters that are generally considered Batman characters, and that's kind of what they're doing right now. Episode 3 sees the inclusion of Hush into the Batwoman series. And just like you would expect out of Hush, he's impersonating Bruce Wayne or Batman, however you want to say it. So we'll see when it airs. Episode 3 apparently does introduce us to Hush. I'm really curious how they're going to handle this in a Batman-less universe. Well, not entirely Batman-less, because it does sound like they will be referencing the Caped Crusader, but that's a whole lot of speculation that we're not going to do right now. So, jumping on next, we're talking about a new show on Netflix called Human Resources. And for those of you that are fans of the animated series Big Mouth, then this is going to be right up your alley, because it sounds like this is going to be an expansion of the Big Mouth universe. By that I mean this is the same creative team that does Big Mouth, and it is set in the world of the Hormone Monsters. That's kind of all they really revealed so far. If that's just a comparison to the kind of humor we're going to get, I don't know, or if it is legitimately an expansion of the Big Mouth world. Again, not 100% clear, but interesting. Some of the Big Mouth stuff I find hilarious, and some of the Big Mouth stuff is kind of just shock and awe for the sake of being shock and awe, as far as I can see, but you take the good with the bad, I guess. But next, we are talking about Harley Quinn, not the fantabulous emancipation thereof. Sorry, first day with the new lips. Not the fantastic emancipation thereof, but the animated series. New York Comic Con is going on this weekend. Yesterday was the first day. Today is the second day. So not a whole lot has broke news-wise in the first day, because as I am filming this, day 2 is barely beginning. So on the next episode of Headlines, we definitely are going to be talking about all of the things that happened in New York Comic Con as they pertain to the topics that we normally cover. But anyway, Harley Quinn, the release date, the premiere date on DC Universe has been released as November 29th. So I mean, we've got Titans Season 2 is going to be coming to a close roundabout then. Young Justice is not picking up another season, I think, until next year, so they've got a little bit of a gap, so that makes perfect sense. Next and final for television news, we are talking about Gideon Falls. Yes, Jeff Lemire's acclaimed Image series is getting the TV treatment by none other than James Wan. James Wan's production company, Atomic Monster, as well as Hivemind production. Hivemind, if you remember, is the production company who's teaming up with Sony to bring us the live-action Final Fantasy series. Those guys teamed up with James Wan's production company to bring us the Gideon Falls series, and it sounds like Lemire and his co-creator are super excited about this team up and are on board. I believe I even saw them in one of my sources credited as being producers on the project, so that's freaking awesome. That is all we have for TV, though. We're going to move very, very quickly into movie news because we only have one thing to talk about, and really, it's not really breaking news necessarily, though it is noteworthy in that Joker, that's right, the movie that I said premiered last night, and again, I am working on my review. It will be up by the end of the weekend. Joker broke the record set by Venom for the highest grossing opening night in October with $13.3 million on Thursday night. That's a huge opening, especially considering two things. First, it is an R-rated movie. And second, all of the negative attention that it got, you would think would not lend itself to breaking records. Sure, it will lend itself to the movie making money just because no press is bad press, but considering our social climate, I honestly thought that would affect it in that it wasn't going to break records, but it was going to be very, very successful. Well, it did break records, and it is apparently going to be very, very successful, which means that we are likely to see, as we've talked about in previous episodes, we are likely to see a new imprint, if you will, if that applies to movie production companies from Warner Brothers, that's similar to DC's Black Label, in that we're going to see a lot more character driven movies that are based on comic book characters, because again, as you will see in my review for the movie, this is not a comic book movie, this is a movie that uses comic book characters, and if you go watch it, you'll see that there is a big distinction between the two. But yeah, that's all we have for movies, and now we're moving into our new and final section that is the rumor mill. Yes, there are rumors that are kicking about, even though we haven't got much from New York Comic Con yet. First up, we're talking about Batman, and there's a couple of rumors here. The first rumor has to do with Robin in Matt Reeves' Batman. And there are rumors building that say there will be a Robin in a future Matt Reeves Batman movie. That rumor, again, Matt Reeves is going to be doing a franchise of Batman movies. I'm reserving judgment until we see this Batman. But also, there was another rumor that I saw that said all of those villains that they were casting for are in fact going to be in this Batman movie. So we're looking at about 6 villains in this one movie. So pretty much like almost the entire Rogues Gallery. I really, really want to see how they deal with this, because Reeves isn't a horrible director or anything like that, but like I just don't know if he has the clout to handle that kind of movie. But next, we're moving on. We are going over to Home Alone, the reboot that we've been talking about since they announced it. So they use the term reboot pretty loosely when talking about this movie, because we just got some rumored plot details about this new movie, and nothing says reboot about this. Everything about this says sequel, because if you remember, they did the other 2 Home Alone movies, I believe, 3 and 4. I'm pretty sure there was a 4th one. I know there was a 3rd one, but I'm pretty sure there was a 4th one, though correct me if I'm wrong. That were like kind of a similar premise, but didn't deal with any of the original characters. Actually, I think 3 kind of did have, like, one of the tertiary characters from the first 2 movies was in 3, but no real direct link aside from that. Well, this sounds like more of that, because the rumor claims that this movie is going to revolve around a young character named Max, who is described as an energetic 9-year-old with a mischievous side. And in the plot, in the course of the story, Max steals something from a young married couple, who then go to war with Max. That doesn't sound anything like a reboot necessarily. That just sounds like a similar premise that is going to have a similar name. So, no new Kevin McAllister, no new Wet Bandits, just a cash grab. That's all that is. Now we're moving back over into DC. We're talking about the DCEU as a whole. This is a follow-up. More rumors are coming out about J.J. Abrams and his deal with Warner. It seems that a big reason, much like we speculated, but a big reason, according to this rumor, that J.J. signed the deal with Warner Brothers is because he wanted to reboot. He wanted to do this soft reboot. He wanted to get his hands specifically on Green Lantern, Superman, and the Justice League. And that apparently is the order in which he's going to do them. Again, according to this rumor. We've already talked about him potentially recasting the role of Superman from Henry Cavill, and why that does make sense if they are continuing along this line that Matt Reeves' Batman is in current time, and therefore we have a Robert Pattinson Batman, and he's young. You can't have Superman being that much older than Batman, so casting a younger actor totally makes sense. I don't know. I still, because this is such a rumor right now, I'm just going to reserve my judgment, because I feel like JJ could do a great job with it. There's just a really fine line to walk there. But we're moving on to our last piece of news, for a rumor rather, for the episode, and this one has to do with Adam Strange. Again, sticking in the DC side of things, Adam Strange actually was rumored to be in production as a movie in June, in June, when we had San Diego Comic-Con. Well, now it seems more rumors are coming from New York Comic-Con. Like I said, day 1, so not a whole lot is brewing just yet. But it sounds like they are switching gears from it being a movie, and they are moving it over into a series. And the interesting part about this rumor, because that isn't necessarily a new, a novel idea to adapt another character from their comic book cadre, right? But the interesting part about this rumor is that it's not going to be going to DC Universe, but it will be headed over to HBO Max. Interesting. So, housekeeping, real quick. Joker was last night, so I watched the movie, I filmed the review, so I'm in the middle of doing that edit, and in order to get it up on time, we have abbreviated today's episode, so we are just going to be covering TV, movies, and rumor mill. Sound good?